I want to know what it's going to take for Americans to rise up.
Americans won't rise up. We will continue to sleepwalk our way into a techno-feudalist mass surveillance state, where tech oligarchs will collect data on our every thought, our every action, our every emotion. AI will use up every last drop of drinkable water, poison our air, and slowly drive us insane with noise pollution. Politicians will continue to use our tax dollars to bomb people overseas while lying to our faces every time they open their mouths. ICE and the cops will continue to kill people in the streets with total impunity because Americans' attitudes are, it's their problem, not mine. Because as long as we have things like Love Island and sports and celebrity gossip and brunch and playdates and the new iPhone and did you see the video about blah, 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 Americans will never rise up. As long as the ruling class keeps us just comfortable enough, just distracted enough, just tired enough because we're working 3 jobs to survive. Forget about the fact that the food is poison, that the water is poison, that the air is poison. Forget about all that because Elon Musk was a trillionaire there for a second. And we just got to hold on to the next election, right? Because the Democrats are going to make it all better, right? Americans are never going to rise up until we decide that we have nothing left to lose. But hey, I would be happy to be proven wrong.
Every single thing that this woman has said is complete and utter facts. This is what I was saying 2 years ago, right? A lot of these things I was already saying 2 to 3 years ago. What did I say? I was telling y'all the techno oligarchs, they're already programming the life that they want for the future. Y'all gotta understand, man, this shit is so deep. They are programming human beings like herd, like animals, like sheep. They're training human beings to be exactly what they want you to be, right? You're gonna have some that escape, clearly. You're gonna have some that escape the matrix. You're gonna have some that, dissociate themselves from greater society. You're gonna have some who do escape, buy their land and get the hell on, plant their own stuff, stay as far away as possible as they can from social media. But the future is techno-feudalism, right? The future belongs to the techno oligarchs. I keep telling y'all this, man. And there is no amount of money, there is no amount of even power, if you will, to really escape this, right? They've already decided a long time ago that this is gonna be the future. They've already decided a long time ago that the major populations, the greater populations, they've already decided to enslave the great majority of everybody. And listen, America, like I said before, America is not going to do any rising up, right? If any kind of civil war pops off, if any kind of, race war pops off, if you will, if anything like that pops off, right, it's going to further put the population, further put the economy and everything else in the country in decline. That's all it's going to do. Right? There isn't going to be any kind of, uprising. There isn't going to be any kind of, a revolution. I know some of you guys, this is your biggest wet dream, right? Your biggest wet dream is for there to be some kind of, revolution or something like that. And people rise up and take their country back, man. Ain't nobody about to do a goddamn on thing. One, because the men are cowards, right? I've already told you that, but that's due to the programming. That's due to the programming. When you have a social system, right? A social system that exists in the United States of America that penalizes men on every front, right? They penalize men in the court system. They penalize men through marriage. They penalize men with the child custody courts, right? They penalize men through everything that you can think of. So much so that many men are absolutely just being castrated, man.
Welcome to the afterpill.co, your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources, you'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want.
Right? So I don't know what kind of, rising up y'all think is about to happen. Listen, I just came back from corporate America, right? I just came back from corporate America, and the majority of the men in corporate America are straight feminine, right? There is no masculine bone in their body, right? There is no fighting spirit, right? They can't even fight their own bodies, right? They can't even fight their own bodies. You got dudes out here, right? They're weighing 200, 300 pounds, right? All bent up out of shape, high blood pressure, diabetes, right? They got their ankles are crumbling, right? Feet crumbling, legs crumbling up under their weight. Man, please. Well, we have our guns. What you think? You think you about to sit in place with the guns? Well, I mean, what you think about to do? See, you got guys, they think that life is Call of Duty, right? You got so many guys, they think life is Call of Duty. They think life is GTA. Man, this shit ain't GTA. You gonna get your stupid self sprayed up, right? There is no hiding behind no concrete wall. What do y'all think this is, right? Y'all gotta get off the PlayStation and get off of Xbox and really get out here and understand, real life, right? Real life consequences. Y'all really gotta get out here and understand the real predicament that not just America, but the world is in. Your future is already bought, man. Your future has already been bought, right? Most of you have no future. Like I said, there will be a select few who can, maneuver around the system, right? Why do you think I've been preaching, second residencies or second passports, right? Getting your residencies, right? A second citizenship, third citizenship. Why do you think I've been preaching this, right? Why do you think there's been so many people who are moving overseas? Why do you think there has been so many people, rich people including, right? The elite class including. Why do you think there's been so many people who are getting second and third passports and who are moving all across the world? Why do you think this has been happening? Because these guys see the writing on the wall too. Y'all sitting up here thinking that America is just about to, come together and fight the powers that be. Man, that's not about to happen. You are already being programmed into what they want you to be. I hope y'all realize that, right? When I talk about all the NPCs, when I talk about all the non-playable characters that exist in society, right? Those are the ones who have been programmed into oblivion, right? Those are the ones that have been programmed into oblivion. They have no thought processes of their own, right? Look at what's going on with FIFA. Right? It's just distraction after distraction after distraction. Listen, I know America is not a big soccer or football country, but now all of a sudden, Americans are talking about FIFA at this large of a scale, or we're talking about FIFA and football on this large of a scale in America. Man, none of this stuff is a coincidence, right? They push whatever they want to push into the media, right? The greater population, the greater society, they don't do nothing but eat that shit all up. And then, come on, man, it's the same old cycle over and over again. But America never wake up, right? It's impossible. Because here's what I like to say. Here's what I like to say. Americans hate each other more than they want to see this country come back. Yep, I'm gonna let that breathe. Let that beat breathe real quick while I change hands because my hand getting tired. I'm gonna let that beat breathe real quick, and I'm gonna say that one more time. Right? America hates each other. Americans hate each other more than they want to come together, right? And that's just facts, right? You can't prove me wrong on that, because every single time something pops up, right? Every single time, like this situation in Mississippi, right? Like the previous situation with the situation in what was that, Texas, with the kid that stabbed the other kid. Man, this is no coincidence. It's almost as if, man, I can really get deep into some real conspiracies, it's almost as if like they know exactly what script they're running. They know exactly when to run it. It's almost like some CIA, like techno-oligarch algorithm type shit. Listen, I can really get deep into these conspiracy theories, but it's almost as if, like, how? Right? When you really sit back and think about it, right? When you really sit back and think about it, how's this stuff happening, like, simultaneously, right? When all of this other stuff is happening, right? Y'all never ever just sit back and wonder, like, bro, because when you get out in real society, right? I'm gonna be honest. When you get out into real society, are we really as divided as the media make it seem? Are we really as divided as social media make it seem? Are we really that divided? I want to just ask yourself that, because when I get out into society, when I get out into the real world, right? I understand people got their own private beliefs, right? I understand that people believe whatever they believe in, but honestly, are we really this divided, or is it seem like something greater, much powerful, is pushing us apart? And that's it's getting crazy out here. But we have been programmed, right? Let me talk to y'all about this algorithm, right? Let me talk to y'all about how the algorithm works, and let me break it down a little bit, of what she was saying, in case, many of y'all really didn't understand what she was saying. So listen, how the algorithm works, or how the programming works, right? You got to think of human beings, right, from a techno-oligarch standpoint. You got to think of human beings as, cattle, right? This is how they think of it. So when you make this much money, when you gain this much power, right, everybody else is just cattle to you, right? You're trying to figure out how to make the most possible money with your cattle, right? So every single human being, right, in America and on the earth represents a data point, right? They represent a data point. So you got to think, look at your phone. Look at all the ads that are coming through. Look at all the commercials that are coming through, right? You're getting hit over the head with a lot of that stuff is because somebody has already collected your data points already, right? On average, I believe that each and every human being could be possibly worth with data alone, probably anywhere between, depending on their socioeconomic status and all of that stuff, right? Anywhere between $250,000, $500,000, all the way up to $1 million per person, right? Just with data. So with all of the data that they have, right, they're reprogramming you to be a consumer. They're reprogramming you to hate your neighbor, right? They're reprogramming you to think that, oh, it's the left, oh, it's the right, right? They're reprogramming you to think whatever they want you to think, right? They're reprogramming you to vote left, vote right, hate this, hate that, right? That's essentially what they're doing, right? All they're doing is taking out the human experience and making you, y'all know how coding works, right? Right? Y'all know how coding works. For all of the coders, do y'all understand how coding works? Right? There's commands, there's keys, there's this, there's that, right? You got this, that when this is pushed, right, and then it activates this. This is how real life is working right now. You got to think of real life as operating as some kind of, back-end code. When this action happens, they understand that this is about to happen, right? So when something like the whole Texas situation, or when something happens like the whole Mississippi situation happens, when stuff like this happens, listen, man, they already understand what the reaction is going to be. They already understand this already. So they're already waiting for the reaction, for another reaction, to get the results that they're looking for. I keep telling y'all, man, right? This stuff is already being pre-planned, man. They're not billionaires and trillionaires for no reason, right? They're not billionaires and trillionaires for no reason. They understand exactly how this shit works. Man, they understand the human psyche down to the T. Right? Do y'all understand? Right? Look, I'm standing right here looking at this ocean, man. Right? This is, you know, this is my freedom right here. Right? I got more things to do, you know, more things to buy, not things, more resources to acquire, so on and so forth. But this is my freedom right here. Up early in the morning, making videos, right? Getting that ocean breeze in, getting a taste of a little bit of, you know, peace of mind, right? I love this shit right here. So she was right on the money. She was dead smack on the money about what's going to happen, and nothing is going to happen because the future has already been decided. So what's really left is people are going to have to decide, you know, which side of the aisle that they're gonna sit on, right? Unfortunately. So you got to pick. Y'all better get to picking today, because like I tell y'all all the time, ain't nobody coming to save y'all, man. Right? Ain't no uprising, ain't no revolution. Democrats, your ass is grass, right? Don't even matter if the Democrats get in or not, man. That shit don't even matter, right? At this point, right? They're the same bird, or whatever the case. Two wings to the same bird. Ain't nothing about to happen, man. So, listen, the afterpill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live. In purpose, in freedom, and in power.